Where's my cheese?
Oh, this lasagna's fabulous.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chef Dan from Dan's Kitchen. Today we are going to make lasagna. Very yummy. But first, I want to show you this apron that I got for Christmas. It's custom made with my name on it. Sorry, my surname's masking taped because I don't want to reveal my surname. Okay, yeah, this was given to me by my beautiful girl. I love it a lot. Thank you, sweetness. You're special. Now, to business. Alright, so first we're going to make the lasagna sheets. First, we've got a food processor, and then we need 2 cups of plain flour, 1. Can just bang off any excess flour that hasn't fallen into the container, and 2. So that's our 2 cups of flour. Then next we need half a teaspoon of salt. So just a couple squeezes with the salt shaker. So something like that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to shut that lid like that. Okay, see, with this particular food processor, part of the clip broke, so you have to keep your finger on it and hook it in like that, otherwise it's not going to start. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pulse the salt and flour so it mixes. Give it a gentle bang, and then we are going to add 3 extra large eggs. Okay, so remove this this thing. I'm not quite sure what that is. Just the lid thingy, I guess. Alright, that's 1, 2, and 3. Then put this back on so it doesn't splatter everywhere. And then put it on maximum for a minute. And what you can do is, it's probably not going to mix together, so add like just fill the quarter of a cup halfway, and we'll just like that, and gradually pour it in. And give it a bang. Just keep things moving.
usually keep things going for about a minute. Or until, you know, it becomes a ball. Yeah, it's a bit foggy from the moisture. So bang it a couple times to try and get things moving.
Sometimes it will get stuck, so turn it off and help it along like that.
There, like that. Part of cooking is also problem solving, learning what to do if things aren't going your way. Yeah, coming together now. Those forming a ball now. Okay.
That's enough now. Okay. We return the camera to its position. Alright. And now, you may get some of the dough stuck to the bottom. That's okay, because we can get it out of there. Remove the blaze, but be careful, don't cut your fingers. Safety first. Okay. So forms are not too hard, not too soft. Dough ball. Move that aside. And now just a small ball like this. We are going to dust the ball a bit. A bit of plain flour. So, kind of like that thing. And then get some Glad wrap or cling wrap, depending on what country you're from. Everyone has different names for them. And just form a tight seal. Like so. There. And now we've got to wait 30 minutes. Hey Siri, set timer for half an hour.
Okay, 30 minutes and counting.
Okay, see you in 30. Right, so now the half hour is up. There we go. We can take the dough out of the bowl. Okay. Just flatten it a bit. And flour the surface. Want to get it nice and floury so it doesn't stick, because we're going to be running this through the pasta maker. Okay, get that nice and floury. Oh, but first, there's Madison. Hello. How are you? How are you, little Madison? Oh, she thinks she's Garfield. You know how Garfield likes lasagna? Do you like lasagna too? You like Garfield, are you? Oh, I love this cat. Now, back to work. Say bye-bye, Madison. Now, right, we are now going to get that into position. Alright. So now, here, this is a pasta maker. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so what I'm going to do is we get the pasta maker. I'm going to use this clamp to make sure that it doesn't move around when I'm rolling it out. I'm running it through the this thing. Right. So flatten it like a disc. Okay, there's 7 settings on here. So we're going to make sure we do it for setting 1. Because that's the thickest setting we've got. Okay, you know what? Let's just move that in a more central spot. So you guys can not only see it, but I can turn the crank more easier without hitting the sink. So like that. And now we are going to use this flour that's on the bench to make it so it's not so sticky, so it doesn't stick to the parts of the machine. Alright. So now I'm going to get a knife, because there'll be lots of it coming out from that one dough ball. So I'm just going to use half. Okay, and then we're going to turn the dial to 2. See, pasta, like in general, like has an interesting history. Like it began in China when you know, I'm sure you all heard of the sailor Marco Polo. Yeah, he brought noodles to Italy, and this is what inspired the Italians to make pasta. Okay, so 2, 3, set some 3. Yeah, and yeah. Now in Italy, it's very it's a very popular and very common dish. They love their pasta. My mother always said, "Oh, Italians would kill for fresh pasta." Setting 4. And it actually originated from Naples lasagna. Lasagna did. So yeah. Sounds like a very foodie place, Naples. I'd love to travel there one day once the COVID restrictions are over. Okay, starting to stretch out now. So I told you, you're going to get a lot out of that one dough ball. Okay, we're on setting 6. Okay, starting to get very thin now. Look at all that. It's like a sheet of snake skin. Alright. I'm going to cut that in the middle there. So I'll have it'll be easier to work with. Now, this can be very tricky sometimes. It won't always come out the way you want, but just keep at it. Just be very careful. Not too slow, not too fast on the final setting. Okay. Just be very careful, keeping an eye on this final setting, because that's as thin as it's gonna go. We don't want it any thinner than that. Okay, so now we're gonna get a knife and just cut about 30 odd centimeters, so it's long enough to just fit in a lasagna dish. I know there's flour on the surface, but that doesn't matter. Dust it off, any excess. Okay. And what we're going to do is place it on this bench that I just bought from the supermarket, actually where I work. Not that particular store, but same company that I work for. We're just going to leave it on there because there's not enough room on the little bench where I work. Now let's return to the bench. Okay. And now we are going to continue to cut the sheet into small 30 centimeter-ish bits. Cut them too long, they won't fit in the dish. Cut them too small, won't be enough for the filling to cover it. Which is why I don't particularly like using the store-bought lasagna sheets. I prefer to make my own, so I can cut them to my own length as I desire. And we just repeat the process. Stretch it out, cut them up into pieces, 30 centimeters approximately, and lay them out on the bench. Alright, so let's see. Now I've rolled out all the sheets. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright, so we've got 18 sheets to work with. Alright, now let's make the sauces. Alright, so I'm going to set the oven for about 220 degrees. Like that. I'm still looking for an appropriate camera person. But yeah, for now I'm my own cameraman. Okay. Now, first we're going to make the meat sauce. And we're going to need 2 cloves of garlic. Yeah, I use garlic in a lot of my recipes, don't I? So yeah, the usual. Just trim the ends, and my special garlic peeler. So press down and roll. Get them out. And watch this. See how easily that comes off? Right. And now we are going to use some olive oil, and we are going to pour a small amount into a skillet. Set it on a medium heat. So while we're waiting for the pan to heat up, okay, we are going to take 500 grams of minced beef, and we're going to separate it like this, so it's not all in one clump. What I really hate doing is when working with mince, when I'm frying it on the pan, is I hate having to separate it with my spoon, with my wooden spoon, while it's cooking. This just makes it so easier later on when you're frying it up. But do it very lightly with your fingers, because if you go too heavily, you'll mush it in, and you don't want a burger patty. Alright, so got that done. Alright, now the frying pan, get the slosh the oil all over the base. First thing we're going to do is crush the garlic. I'm using a garlic crusher. Just crush it in and scrape it off at the bottom using a knife. and whatever's left in there. Yeah, try crushing it again. Squeeze out whatever you can. And what I do is just scrape out what's left in the crusher. Don't worry about that not being totally crushed. Don't be crushed if it doesn't get crushed. Alright, so we've got the second clove. This one's a bit bigger, so it'll be easier to crush. Okay, but remember, work quickly. Work quickly. So just get that out. What I'm doing is I'm trying to cut up the bigger bits the best I can. Okay. And now I'm going to put in the mince. You've got to keep stir frying it until it's all brown. We don't want any pink. Do you understand? No pink bits. No pun intended either. Yep, see how it's starting to brown? Alright. Any pink, just fold it like what I'm doing. And if there are any big chunks, try to cut through them with your spoon. Like that. And just keep repeating the process. It's starting to smell good. The pink bits are starting to disappear. That's nothing important, that's just something from the news. We're going to ignore that. But I always hear that noise when, something is happening out in the world, usually something I'm not interested in. Alright, now that that's fully browned, we're going to take a 700 gram jar of passata, that's a tomato sauce, empty the contents into the pan, then we need like a small tin like that of tomato paste, so that's 140 grams in there. All in there, nice tangy sour tomato paste. I don't know who uses this more, the Italians or the Maltese, because my ex, now one of my best friends, she told me that they use a lot of tomato paste in many Maltese dishes. Okay, let's stir that in. now we're going to add like some oregano. So sprinkle it all around the pan, like that. Not too much, but not too little. And then sprinkle some salt and pepper. Okay, then we want to turn the heat down. It's starting to bubble quite a bit. And stir gently so we don't, spill any of the sauce. Excuse me. Don't worry, I didn't sneeze in the food. It's all good. I braced myself and sneezed away from the stove. So no chance of cross-contamination. I work in a service deli. I've been trained for this kind of thing to avoid cross-contamination. Alright, so we're going to let that simmer and we're going to make the bechamel sauce. That's cheese sauce. Now, while the meat sauce is bubbling away, we are going to get a saucepan and we are going to make the bechamel sauce. Alright, so we need that down to the lowest setting possible. And we're going to add 70 grams of butter. Approximately 70 grams. Might kick up the heat just... Actually, no. I'm going to set it on full just to melt the butter. Sorry, just going to put the light there. Meat sauce a bit of a stir, so it doesn't bubble up and erupt like a volcano. Yep. Butter's starting to melt. I love the smell of melting butter. So let's coat the solid butter with the melted butter, makes it melt quicker. Wash it around a bit more. Alright. Now I'm going to lower the stove setting. It's not so hot, but just to simmer. Squirt in a bit of salt, add the flour, so add 1/3 of a cup of plain flour, mix it around so the flour doesn't burn. Mix that butter real good. Right. Now, we're going to add some milk. So you need to slowly and gradually add the milk in. So I've got a cup here at the moment. Just a bit of trial and error of depending on how much milk you need. But you see I'm doing very slow and very carefully. The reason we do this is so that it's going to mix properly and it will combine well. Otherwise, it's not going to turn out as you planned. So, very gently. Okay. If it looks a bit lumpy, then don't worry too much. But provided that you, gradually and slowly added the milk, that will be fine. Okay, so I'm going to add another cup of milk. And again, just very carefully, gradually stirring it in, like so. We're gonna take it real easy. So that's half a litre of milk, so 2 cups I've used. I'm going to add 1 more cup, I reckon. So 3 cups of milk. Again, gradually adding it slowly while stirring. I think that's it for the milk. So just got to clean up a few drops. Now let's get back to this. Now we're going to heat it up a bit. Well, this is what I do, but I don't recommend doing that just yet. But maybe heat it up halfway for beginners. So I've made this quite a few times. So, like I always say, trial and error. Ooh! That means that beautiful girl of mine has messaged me, but sorry Angel, I've got a YouTube video to do and I'll message you shortly. So just keep stirring, just keep stirring. It's like Just like Dory said in Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. We're going to just keep stirring. Okay. You're going to keep stirring until it starts to thicken. You'll be able to see if, how thick it's getting. So it won't be so liquidy. Oh, I'm popular tonight. Oh, yeah. Just gonna turn the heat down to maybe medium. Now it's starting to feel a bit slippery at the bottom, which is what I want. That means it's getting thicker. Not as thick as some, but yeah. Those of you not from Australia, oh, I'll get to you in a second, beautiful girl. But yeah, those of you not from Australia, yeah, that saying not as thick as some was from a potato chip commercial for Thins back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, during that era. Became a very popular saying. I'm not sure if they have it in other countries. They probably do in Britain, but yeah. Alright. Now that that's thickened, we are going to add some shredded cheese. I've got here 250 grams of pizza blend. So it's a blend of mozzarella, tasty, and parmesan cheeses. A very delicious combo. I'm going to pour in about maybe 3/4 of the bag, because I'm going to save some for the for when we top off the lasagna. Okay, and now at this point we're going to switch off the stove because we don't need it on anymore. And really mix it in so that this helps melt the cheese. And now we're gonna add a few shakes of some nutmeg. This will give the cheese sauce a bit of flavour. Nutmeg's got kind of like a cinnamony kind of smell to it, but not quite. This is what they use to top off, the Aussie custard tart that Balfour's makes. If ever you're in Australia, get yourself a custard tart. You'll love it. A little more, that should do. Alright, and that's the bechamel sauce done. Alright, now we're going to assemble the lasagna. This is a lasagna dish, courtesy of Mum. Okay, so first thing before we do anything is drizzle a bit of olive oil on the bottom. Okay, and we're going to get a ladle. just ladle a bit of the meat sauce and spread it as much as you can. We're going to use the sauce sparingly because you can run out very quickly. Right? And now, hello sweetness, I'll be there in a second. Don't worry, I never forget. And we're going to put 2 sheets. Oh, alright, like that. Add another ladle of meat sauce. Just try and spread it over the sheets best you can. Shake off any sauce that may still be sitting in the ladle. Okay. And then what do we do next? With another ladle or another spoon, we're going to sprinkle a bit of the cheese sauce. If it's a bit lumpy, don't worry about it. That means it's rustic. So like that. Then you put on another sheet. We're going to keep repeating this step. Your meat sauce, cheese sauce, 2 sheets, and repeat. So yeah, meat sauce, cheese sauce, sheet. Okay, sweetie. I'll be there in a second. She works really hard. We all do. She's a really wonderful person. So all my other friends. Okay. I'm not going too overboard with the ladling because I don't want to run out of sauces very quickly. Alright. No, or else we're going to run out of sauces very quickly. Okay, so sheet, meat sauce, drizzle of cheese sauce. Yeah. Just a bit more. Now that's our little secret. Now if you tell anyone, I will come round to your house. Nah. I'm not being I'm not gonna do what he did in Family Guy, imitating Bob Ross. Threatening to come round to your house and kill you. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Little joke. For those of you that like Family Guy. Okay. So at this point, you know what I'm doing. Just, sheet, sauce, cheese sauce, sheet, sauce, cheese sauce, sheet. Yeah, all right. See you at the top. Now we make our way at the top. Alright. Now with whatever with the sauces you have left, yeah, just pour it all on. Actually, the wooden spoon makes it a hell of a lot easier to spread. So yeah, spread all that meat, all that tomato sauce across the sheets best you can. If you don't, no one's going to judge you. If they do, they need to seek help, because we don't judge in Dan's kitchen. We grow and learn. Live and learn and grow. Okay, so now I'm just spreading over the remainder of the bechamel. Sometimes I make too much, sometimes I make too little. In this case, I think I made a bit too little, which isn't too bad because we don't want to overdo that. And now, remember how I told you to save the about 3/4 of the cheese? Well, we're going to sprinkle it on the top. I'm gonna be naughty and just sprinkle a bit more mozzarella on there. Yeah, try and cover as much of the red as you can, but don't overdo it, otherwise it's going to be too cheesy, and that can be bad. That can be bad, because drugs are bad, okay? Madison is hungry, it would seem, but I'm sorry, Madison, I have to put this in the oven and I'll give you your food. So now we stick this in the oven. For roughly 10 to 15 minutes. But just keep an eye on it, okay? And there you have it, folks. A nice, fresh, homemade bechamel lasagna. This is actually my mother's recipe. It's one of the best. I'm sure you'll enjoy it too. So now you've let it stand for a bit. Just get a spatula or pancake flip like this. Just cut a square, depending on how big you want it. So yeah, look at that. How it's nice, crispy brown, golden brown colour on top. There we go. There you have it, folks. Nice, delicious lasagna. Enjoy.
Crazy